Okay.
Cadillac's hit music station, 107.9 CDY. It's Cadillac Unscripted, another Saturday morning of local chat that's sponsored by Independent Bank. Katy Huckle is here with me. And Katy, we have in the spotlight today a big event that's coming up a week from today.
Oh, my goodness.
And we're talking about OASIS Family Resource Center and all the great work they do and how that all ties in together, right?
Right. A cornerstone of Cadillac, OASIS Family Resource Center. In the studio, we have Sara Shields, our director of OASIS, and we have Nancy Bellaire, who is the store manager of the Second Chance, which is really an important arm to OASIS Family Resource Center. And we'll let the ladies get into why that is so. So welcome, ladies.
Hi, thank you.
We want to hear about your event. Tell us.
Well, it's a prom, just like you're back in high school. So fancy dresses, tuxedos if you want, suits, whatever you're most comfortable with. There will be a cash bar, and it's just going to be an evening of fun and dancing and a night out for a great cause.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so what time does it start?
It starts at 7, goes till 11 p.m., and it'll be held at the WEX.
Oh, how fun. What about things like punch, because it is prom?
Oh, yes. We will have a cash bar, and our featured drink will actually be spiked punch.
You mean nobody needs to sneak it, right?
Nobody
Like
needs to sneak it to this one. It will be available to everybody there because it is a 21 and older only event.
Sure, that makes sense, right? Your goal for the event, how many people would you like to have there, and how much money are you looking to raise?
We would love to see 125 to 150 people come. The amount raised, I'm not sure, honestly, because I wasn't involved with the last one.
Right.
So Sara probably has that.
Okay.
So the tickets are $40 per person or $70 per couple, and then we have some sponsorships too. But we are we're going to be crowning a king and queen of prom.
Oh boy.
And so we'll be taking donations to vote for the king and queen.
Good.
So we're hoping to see a lot of people from the community, and hopefully everybody will have a great time. That's our big goal too.
So is it DJ request type situation where you can put money in the jar and ask the DJ to play your favorite tune?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll be doing that. And the DJ is Dean O's DJ service. So we're excited about that too.
Oh, awesome. So tell me, do people really put on old prom dresses, and do they come and see you, Nancy?
Yes, we are selling lots of prom dresses right now. We're
love
actually running low. So if you have some out there and would love to donate them, we'd love to have them at the store as well. But yes, people are buying up the old prom dresses. It is throwback, or wear whatever you're comfortable with. If that's an old bridesmaid's dress or a suit or tux, you dress as you feel fit, and we love to have you there.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Well, so I wanted to wear a Cinderella costume, but they talked me into just getting a traditional prom dress. So I'm wearing a new prom dress, but
Well, can we know the color at least?
it is like a purpley blue sparkly dress.
Okay.
Very
so
excited about it.
kind of Cinderella-ish.
Yes.
In that it's sparkly and magical.
Yes, very magical.
Okay, so think about it, girls. When do we get to dress up like this? Like never.
It's been a long time, especially with COVID. I
Right.
haven't dressed up in years.
It really has been.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. Whether you go to a salon or you do it in your own home, the nails and the hair and the makeup, that's all fun because we don't do it every day.
Right. It's a good excuse to go do all the pampering
Right.
Saturday morning.
We live in a casual pocket of the country, northern Michigan. And so I think that makes this extra special. Having an opportunity just as grown adults, right, over 21,
Right.
to put on that frilly fancy dress. Because there's a little girl in all of us, I think.
Yeah.
Little princess, for sure.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
So, Nancy, share with us when someone comes into your store, and we'll call it her store. See what I'm doing with that? Absolutely. How do you help them?
Well, the average customer, they just can shop for everything that we have on the shelves, the donations. And then our clients from OASIS, they can come in with a voucher and get the items that they need, be it clothes or kitchen items if they're restarting in a new apartment, and they get to go home with all of that stuff for free.
Isn't that amazing? I think it's important for our listeners to know that because Second Chance has been around for a long time. It's a beautiful store. It's well run. I dropped off 5 bags of stuff this week, but I didn't know you needed prom dresses because I've got some of those too. So
Bring 'em down.
I'll bring them down. But to know that women in crisis, women living in shelter, or women transitioning, because you've got your transition program too, that the store is there as a resource for them. And it could even be pots and pans and toiletries and things too, couldn't
Yes,
it, Nancy?
absolutely. And even artwork for their walls, because nobody wants to live in an apartment with no artwork.
Right. So if you're starting over from nothing, this is a good way, to not go into debt and to set up your little house.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you tell us about the types of items? I know you need prom dresses right now, and of course we are headed into spring, so you'll need them for spring as well. What other types of items is the store looking for? What do people ask you for and you say, we don't have it?
Our most recent request is actually for a turntable for records. That one's kind of random. So if you have one and are willing to part with it, bring it in. I do have a customer who's looking.
Awesome.
Other than that, we could always use kitchen items because we do give them away to the clients. So we always have a need for those. And then really just anything. We've got clothes that are available. Any season is fine. We kind of hang on to them if they're out of season and put them out later on in the year. And then, really anything, artwork, frames, books even. We have a great book selection too.
So one great thing about the store is that the items that get donated there, we can always use for our clients that are starting over again. But also what some people don't realize is that any of the sales that we make there, so if people are coming in who aren't in one of our programs just buying stuff, all of the money that store makes supports our domestic violence programs that we have at OASIS.
And Sara, because, I spent 11 years on the board of directors for OASIS, and so I'm familiar with how important of a line item that is in your budget.
It absolutely is.
A whole bunch of money comes in from Second Chance, doesn't it?
Yeah, they really support a lot of the programming. 80% of all of the grant money that we get goes right towards programming, and then the rest of the money that's in our budget comes from the store.
And for folks that don't know this, it's really important when writing a grant to explain that you do have community support.
Yes.
Meaning the community is behind the mission of the organization. And sometimes you need that in order to get a grant. Is that so?
Yeah, and the community here is great. So I've only been with OASIS since October. I'm new, and I'm new to the community, and I've been so impressed by how the whole community has supported OASIS, how they've wrapped around us and taken care of us in so many different ways, and it's been amazing. I came from downstate, and I didn't always have that down there, so I've been just really impressed with this whole community.
That's awesome. Can you tell us about your background, your education, and your passion for what you do?
Sure. So I'm actually a nurse.
Oh, boy.
And I've spent the last 20 years working in behavioral health in Wayne County in Detroit. The pandemic kind of made us all reevaluate what we were doing and where we're at, and I decided to come up here and was telecommuting for a minute and then kind of stumbled upon OASIS accidentally and just thought it was such a cool program. Not cool necessarily what people have to come into it for, but just the services and how great they are at
fulfilling the needs,
yes.
Isn't it? I've been in awe of the organization since I moved to town many, many years ago.
Right.
The outreach.
The first day that I was there, they were giving me a tour and everything and showing me. They have this at the shelter. They have a big pantry in the basement with lots and lots of food that's been donated, and they have a big clothing closet in the attic full of baby clothes and women's clothing. And I was kind of asking what the process was for people to have those things, and the manager there said, well, we just find out what they need, whatever they need, we've got it here. So they just kind of figure out where people are at and try to meet them where they're at and give them what they need, and I think that's great.
Yeah, they cut through all types of layers, don't they?
Yeah, and working in the community mental health system, we saw a lot of domestic violence survivors there, but we weren't able to give them all of the resources and all of the services that a program like OASIS can. So I think that's really cool to be able to help people in more than just counseling. That's what I really liked about it.
next steps on how to life coaching, that type of thing.
Right.
Parenting,
getting out, helping people get back on their feet. Counseling programs can help work through some of the emotional and trauma stuff, but they don't really get to help you get on your feet and get independent and do all of those things. So that's what I love about it.
Awesome. Well, that makes me happy to hear that you were part of another program and are impressed with what's going on up here.
Yeah, I think it's a great program.
Great. What's your favorite part about your job, Nancy?
My favorite part is actually helping the clients when they come in. So many of them are overabundantly thankful for what we do. And if they bring a kid in with them and their kid wants a stuffed animal or a toy or a game, and we just say yes, their face lights up, the child's face lights up, and that just makes my day. Really, usually my week too, because life gets hectic and crazy, and it's really easy to miss the smiles in the day-to-day life. And then when we can help a client take the next step in their journey and help make their day just a little bit brighter, that makes my day. It really is the best part of my job. And I love my employees. They're all amazing, and they also make the day go so much smoother too. But helping the clients is number one for sure.
Tell me about your volunteer base at the store. There is a lot of stuff back there.
There is a lot of stuff, yes. I have some great volunteers. I have 4 or 5 that come in or 4 that come in on a weekly basis, and 1 that comes in every day, actually. And he's newer to our crew, but he has taken on our online sales and just run with it. And he's done an amazing job, and we're finally off the ground with that. So when higher priced items are donated, ones that won't sell for the price that they're worth in the store, we have him list them on eBay so that we can get a fair price for it. And we've already brought in a couple $100 just from that in the past probably 10 days.
Okay, so we're curious. I mean, what types of things?
We get some really nice china and some real silverware, and a lot of times people will buy that just for the silver, and they'll then turn around and get the price of the silver for it. But we have had carnival glass come in, which is the really cool, I don't know how to describe it. It's multicolored, but it's shaped fun, but it's
looks
beautiful.
Kind of hand blown.
Yes, it does. So stuff like that, and then we get some nicer clothes. Like we have a Juicy Couture purse right now. So it kind of varies, but we know that we wouldn't be able to put some of those items out in the store and get the price that they're worth for them, so we throw them up online right now.
Isn't that wonderful?
It
you
really
guys are
is.
high tech.
Yes. And it is a very old gentleman that does it, and he loves it. He does it as a side gig for himself. He's retired, but he loves every minute of it, and he does a great job with it. So it's nice to not have that on my plate, and I can focus on more of the stuff in the store too.
Right. Well, and I think the timing here is good, right? Because here we sit in the month of March. We all have stuff in our closet. I mean, guilty as charged.
Yes, me too.
And when you mentioned Juicy Couture purse, I mean, women and purses, it's a thing. It's a thing. And I look at mine and go, oh, I'm going to get that out next season. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Nope.
No. So it's a reminder to get out your totes and get your nice stuff loaded up into them and get them to your store and drop them off and support the mission. Hearing the story about little kids coming in with their mom, that's something.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to Sara and talk a little bit about your transition program. I know you've got transitional housing in town where you have your folks go when they come out of shelter. Can you talk about that process and what it looks like?
Yeah, so it's kind of a neat program. So it's a 2-year program where we can assist people, kind of like I said, getting on their feet. We have a case manager and advocate that will meet with them every week, and they can set some goals about, in the next 2 years, what are they going to do, and how can we help a person kind of be ready to go into their own living arrangement. So they're in an apartment or a house for those 2 years. We can assist them with paying their rent and paying some of their utilities, and in the meantime help them come up with a savings plan and come up with some budgeting things, or maybe they need to get a car or to go back to school, or whatever it is that they need to do in those 2 years, so that when they're done working with us, they're good to go and they can depend on themselves Yeah.
And we know 2 years flies by, doesn't it? So it's almost like you're meeting with these folks and giving them goal lists and almost to-do lists of, okay, in order to get here, here are the things that you need to accomplish
Yeah.
to
Right.
reach independence.
Right. And also to help them kind of deal with sometimes, the problem is that's preventing them from being independent isn't financial. Sometimes it's just that the after effects of the trauma from being in an abusive relationship, and the financial issues come from that. Sometimes money is used to control women. So we also, in the meantime, while we're helping them do the budget and work on the goals and everything, are there to just support them and listen to them, help them with some different types of coping skills or stress management, or, just kind of getting grounded.
Wow. It's overwhelming to me, and it's amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Helping so many women and families. My favorite question to ask nonprofit directors of 501c3s, if money were no object, let's say that this prom raised $100,000. What would you do with the chunk of money that you didn't know you had coming?
Honestly, right now, we have been running at capacity at shelter for months.
What does that mean, Sarah? How many people in shelter?
We can fit about, depending on if it's all adults or adults and children or whatever, 16 to 20 people in there.
No kidding.
And it's been full. And it's been so full that we've had to come up with other arrangements for people, whether it's local hotels or things like that. So that's been hard. And I feel like we're at a place where we could use more space for sheltering people, another shelter probably. I'd also like to do more of the permanent supportive housing. So we do have 8 units where we're the landlord for those. So we can take people that have, who don't need transitional housing, but we can, have them live at the permanent housing, one of those units. And we could use more of those too. So more buildings, I think, more space. And I would really love to do a lot more prevention, a lot more working with families and working with kids. We do have a parenting program for kids 0 to 5, but I think that could really be expanded. I think we could do a lot more with teens and transitional age youth too.
I see. Anger management,
Absolutely.
coping skills, these things. The parenting program is unique. I think people would be surprised. You're going into people's homes, aren't you?
We are. We have 3 parent educators, and they can visit families in Wexford and Missaukee counties, and they go into the home once a week. Some people, they go every other week, just kind of depending on the family and their schedule. And they spend time there doing an activity with the kids. They have a curriculum that they follow. They spend time with the parents. They do developmental screening. They do a lot in that time that they're there. And then we also, all the families that are in those programs are also invited to like a weekly play group, and we do activities and art projects and some really fun stuff.
That's a support system of other families.
Right.
And so the
that's
families
idea.
become friends and the children become friends and healthy behaviors and all that.
Right.
Wow. It takes a special person to go into somebody else's home. What type of skills are they helping with? What types of needs are they addressing?
Well, so the program is for kids 0 to 5. So a lot of it is teaching parents how to play with their kids sometimes, that's sometimes, I have 3 kids. They're teenagers now, but when they were little, I remember trying to interact with them and play with them and wanting to do all the things that were developmentally healthy for them, but just not quite knowing, always where to start, what to do. And I had to read a lot of books. And so this is kind of a shortcut. You've got a person coming in and coaching you on how to do those things.
Okay.
Also teaching parents about what to look for to make sure that their kids are on track developmentally.
Right.
And sometimes there's just advice on, disciplining kids or preparing healthy meals, or, it just depends on the family. There's a lot of different things that come up.
And there's no playbook for parents.
No.
There isn't. You
Not an
know,
easy
show me
one.
a perfect parrot and I'll show you a liar. Again, incredible work that you're doing. And
Thanks.
I'm not sure everybody knows about it, you know, because a lot of this is very private material for
Yeah.
people. And I know you take confidentiality so seriously. And that's important so that folks realize they can reach out to you for help and know that they're in a safe place.
Absolutely.
Yes. So let's go back to the fun,
The fun.
the prom. Do you think you'll see groups of girls, like a girls' night out, girls just want to have fun type theme, Nancy? Do you think you're going to see that too?
I think so. I know my husband can't come, so
Okay.
we'll be going with some girlfriends too. So I definitely think that we'll see that a lot of times because the guys are just like, nope, did it once, I'm good. You go have fun, honey. Here's the credit card. So I do think that we'll see that. I do
Cute.
hope a lot of couples come though, because I know one of my employees wasn't able to go to prom with her husband. They weren't together at the time, so she actually asked him in a traditional way and was able to get a yes from him. So they will be coming. So
Okay,
I do hope we have a good mix of both coming.
Isn't it funny? You're younger than me, ladies, but these elaborate prom asks that we see now, these kids that just do, isn't it something?
Yeah, they didn't do that when I was younger either. That's a whole new thing, I think, but it's entertaining. I've seen some really creative. They're almost like wedding proposals.
Right. It's
Yeah.
clever,
Yeah.
jars of candy that spell out things and, things on vehicles and things on social media. And
Yeah, everybody has to top the last social media post, I think is really what it's coming down to. But, it also makes it fun. It makes it a great way to interact with either your friends, your spouse, whatever it is, and just kind of bring back those memories of high school, which is what we're going for with the prom.
awesome. So if we take a ticket price of $40 and we've got a DJ in there and we've got, punch and snacks part of the.
There will be pizza.
Well, of course, it's
Of
prom.
course, right.
In your gown, in your blue sparkly gown, Sarah, you're going to be, having some pizza. I love it. So how much of that would you say will go to the bottom line? I think it's an important number to share with everybody. Is it $30 of the $40 will go back to Oasis? Maybe 25?
You know what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what the expenses are from that. I know that we usually get a lot of donations there too, and those will
Nice.
all go. Once we pay for our venue and our
The DJ.
DJ and stuff,
Mhm.
all of that will go back to Oasis.
Oh, good.
And I know Wexford Jeweler is our title sponsor this year.
Awesome.
Wexford Jewelers, sorry. And so I know that their donation has helped a lot. And there's other sponsors that have stepped up. So they're helping negate the cost as well.
Oh, perfect. So it might be that your costs are covered and that your ticket sales go 100% to the bottom line. That is possible.
Very possible, or very close to it. That's what we're hoping for.
So we need a whole bunch of people to come to this. What time does it
Absolutely.
start?
7 p.m.
Okay.
And if there's any businesses out there that would still like to sponsor, we still have room for sponsorships too. So go ahead and go to our website and you can get more information from there.
Okay. So like a real prom, are there going to be chaperones?
Well,
I think you'll be able to manage yourselves, don't you?
absolutely.
Sarah, let's talk about post-prom. What other fundraisers are on deck for 2022?
So we have our women's luncheon.
Yeah, Celebrate Women.
Celebrate Women, and that will be in the spring. And then we're also planning our first golf outing
Oh, boy.
for end of August. I believe it's the end of August. I'm not 100% sure on that date yet, but we're planning that as well.
Great. People are sitting chomping at the bit wanting to go and do things and to support. And so I love it that you guys are coming full throttle with this stuff. It's time to get back in the game. All of us.
We're ready.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. In terms of, you mentioned you could use another house, multiple, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we have a donor out there in the audience that wants to donate a house or money or items for your store, Nancy, what's the best way for the public to get a hold of you?
They can call the office.
Okay.
And that number is 231-775-7299.
Okay.
Or they can stop in. We're right on Mitchell Street in Cadillac. or they can even just stop in at the store at Second Chance.
Okay. And to deliver donations, Nancy, because it can get chaotic for you guys back there. There's a lot of stuff coming in. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be sorted through. Do you prefer folks to make an appointment to drop off items? How do you like to have stuff dropped to you?
You can just come to the store anytime we're open, which is Monday through Friday from 10 to 5 and Saturday 10 to 4. We always have somebody that staffs the donation door, and we just move through things as quickly as and efficiently as possible.
Okay. What type of volunteers are you looking for right now? Do you need sorters? Do you need cashiers?
Sorters would be great. People that can come in and kind of go through the clothing. That's what we get the most of. And it's also the hardest to go through because it takes so much time. Because we do look at every piece and make sure that the stuff that goes to the floor doesn't have stains, doesn't have rips, unless they're supposed to be there. And, and so that just takes a lot of time. And then we do mark up the name brand clothes. So we make sure that those get set aside. Just a little bit of a markup just because we know they're worth it. And sorters, people that come in and go through the clothes would be very beneficial.
I think our listeners also need to be aware of this gentleman that's working off of eBay, because if someone has a beautiful piece, and we've got stuff in our homes that it just doesn't fit the look anymore, or, maybe we inherited it, or it's from the last house, or that kind of thing, there might be a place for it. And if that person that has that item doesn't want to deal with it, you guys will take it and you can get market value for it. I think because some people really want to know that this isn't going to get thrown in the junk pile and sell for $1. I think folks want to know it's worth a lot. I don't really need it anymore, but is someone going to get what it's worth? That's important for some people.
It is important. And we really do try to take the time to really use Google Lens to snapshot some of the pieces that come in to make sure that we know what we're looking at and to make sure we mark it fairly. Even if it does stay in the store, we will mark some stuff up and leave it in the store, or it will get sold on eBay.
So I think if someone has something nice, it's important when they drop it to your folks maybe they don't know, right? So to say this is this china pattern or this silver pattern or this glassware crystal china, etc., so that it can save your folks the research piece.
Yes, if you know what it is and you know it may be worth some money, go ahead and tell us, because at the very least we'll make a note and leave the note with it and have the research done either by the volunteer that runs the eBay stuff or as we have time to do it. But we don't make hasty decisions when it comes to stuff that we're told is valuable.
Okay. So Oasis Second Chance Prom is 1 week away. So we're going to ask our listeners, anybody who's got prom dresses or homecoming dresses or formals or gowns that they're not using, please get them to Nancy at Second Chance and she'll put them to good use.
Yes, please. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being with us today, ladies. Please know that you have the heart of the community with you. What you do is important.
Thank you.
1079 CDY. This has been Cadillac Unscripted with Sara Shields and Nancy Bellaire from OASIS and Second Chance. Thank you so much, ladies, for being with us today. Rich and I will be back next Saturday with more local chat about wonderful things going on in the Cadillac area.